who does land? Who does land as a general concept belong to? And what is an African?
Any man who sells land is a criminal. Anyone. Because no one has the first receipt of where they bought it from. Africans is it where we don't own our land. Our land owns us. From it we came, to it we shall return. The background is that when the Europeans came here and they said they wanted land, the African says, oh, really? You want land? There is it. Because in our heads, we never thought that land could be put in a briefcase.
It's abundance. Land
and
is
someone
available.
jumps in a boat or in an aeroplane and flies away with our land.
Yes.
But what the African did not understand is that by giving me a piece of land, in the backdrop of our ignorance, legislative frameworks were being structured to ownership of land. Laws were being written down. You gave me the piece of land, next thing we saw were wires being put around this land. All of a sudden, you can't access your grandfather's graves. You can't access the river. But you said it's mine.
No thoroughfare.
And then policemen are coming around.
Yes.
Then your cattle have come onto my land. I'm confiscating them systematically. We were duped into thinking that the usage of land would remain communal.
Yes.
We did not know that it will move into a capitalistic sort of space.
Private property rights is a very big one that a lot of the beneficiaries of colonialism love quoting in the Constitution.
Who is the African? The African is not a geographical location in as much as it is. Who is the African? The African is the one who is allowed to practice and live in Africa in connection with his culture and practice self-actualization using his resources to the best of his ability and not become a footnote on the historical storyline of the colonialist, but become the subject matter of that storyline. So being African is not complexion. Being African is a mindset, solving our problems using both African indigenous knowledge systems, creating parallel systems to the capitalistic system and allowing our people to have access. It saddens me that even at this day, we cannot be talking about Africa Union having an Africa Union Bank. Where all these countries, we borrow money from ourselves. Africa Union National Army. Silence the genocide in Congo, which is going on as I'm talking to you right now.
It is correct.
You know, silencing all these wars that are happening. Protecting
Somalia,
our borders.
Ethiopia, Cameroon,
Congo.
deaths,
Africa-
Sudan.
Africa is in flames. And
Constantly.
people are taking pictures with Xi Jinping. People are taking pictures with... we are talking about BRICS. Hey,
They're
BRICS.
visiting leaders of Russia and Ukraine.
BRICS, this my foot. We needed Africs, our own form of consolidation of our money. Why is it that we only unite when we go to India and we go to Russia and we cannot unite on the ground? And by the way, the GDP of Africa on its own is bigger than BRICS. In all honesty, when it comes to resources, manpower, natural resources, and money itself. So again, we need our national army. We need to supervise our borders, our own aviation. We need to consolidate our educational system. I don't know these guys who are running these systems, if they need to come to, let me be arrogant. They need to come to me for school. I know that sounds very arrogant. They need to come for school and we can come with just a 5-year plan. I hear the Africa Union story. I hear the whole Pan-African story. But something that is lacking is the how part. What is it that Africa Union must do? We need a bank, we need an army, we need education. If we, for example, just remove the borders only, I did a research the other day, $3 billion will start running from border to border on the African continent for free, just by doing policy change. I'm not saying...
Not removing the borders, but
Don't remove
changing
the
the
borders.
policies for free trade.
Just allow Africans to move goods. Those who want pounded yam from Uganda, the Ugandans here can simply make a call to Uganda and say, hey, please
Buy it, sell it, let's move.
bring pounded yam, and the truck can drive with pounded yam.
Yes.
And those who want fufu from Nigeria, fly it in. We can eat our fufu here. And those who want stuff from South Africa, just by opening borders only, without killing passports, just open the trade between borders. But all these tariffs, and by the way, this is what annoys me, Panuel. This is what annoys me, ticks me off. That we have politicians who get into power, but they don't understand the monster called the government and colonial policies that run the government, which includes immigration, business, ownership. Right now, try and open a bank. You are coming from the banking sector, I'm glad. Trying to open a bank, you will need to fill in forms from here to Palaburwa. You need
many have tried and failed in
you
real
need
time.
backup system, you need monies, you need guarantees, you need sureties, you need
260 million.
which they know you won't have anywhere.
Correct.
But here's Capitec. One man owned bank. Who talks? Who backs him up? But we understand. Here's RNB, First National Bank, owned by an individual.
What about Time Bank?
Here we go.
Black Bank.
But who talks about it?
Is Time Bank a black bank?
I'm chewing my words because you know exactly why I'm chewing my words. Because black banks for me are black owned, black shareholder, black empowering.
They invest in
And
black spaces.
if Time Bank is a black bank right now, blacks should be queuing there to go and open up accounts and function and run businesses. And again, when you open up these black banks, as you said, I don't want it to become a black bank. Yet the bureaucracy of the same colonial banks
the South African Reserve Bank.
you're still basically dealing with the Reserve Bank here at the bank.
Central Bank
but
of London.
the fronting is okay with an African bank. But the forms that you must fill in, you still want guarantees. Oh, and by the way, the issue of guarantees, let me mention it. You still want guarantees. Well done. But you know that communal land and traditional land is not part. It's not insurable. And you cannot use it as surety when you come to a loan. So by saying you want sureties, what are you talking about? You're talking again to the same commercial, urban-based community.
Yes.
So it's not effective at all. And this is a nice one. You have a house in Rustenburg, right outside Marikana, that is sitting on a platinum belt. It's got these 2, 3, 4, 5 hectares. And underneath that house is maybe 50, 60, maybe 80, 100 million worth of platinum.
Dollars.
In dollars. You have a house that is in Sandton that is sitting on top of a sewage pipe. And there's nothing underneath. The man sitting on a sewage pipe can walk up to Standard Bank and get a 10 million rand loan. The man sitting on a $60 million resource cannot pick up his asset and walk up to Standard Bank and get at least 12 million to start a mining project on his own plot. And you call that is empowerment?
Who does land belong to?
Land belongs to itself. Land belongs to those that it produces.
In reality today?
Because of the colonial judiciary structures, land belongs to the one who has the piece of paper, which he also stole from the one who stole, from the one who said he bought it. Ultimately, land belongs to the chief who gave this one and signed a treaty with the grandfather that you can use the land. But land belongs to the people. Not those that have come to live in it. No, land belongs to the people. The whole of Gauteng, and by the way, all these municipalities are crime scenes, including the government, because you're collecting taxes from the land that doesn't belong to you. Gauteng belongs to, Pretoria belongs to KwaNdebele, Swaziland and Mpumalanga belongs to, Bloemfontein belongs to, Rustenburg and etc. belongs to. And when you look around these chiefs, and I think you need to study very carefully the Royal Mafokeng house and the model that they've created. That should be the right model. Right now, if Royal Mafokeng, I think the last time I checked it, they're sitting about 47, 48 million. If billion, I can't remember.
I think it's billions. The Royal Mafokeng have done really well with platinum.
And with 48 billion, and if you can circle where Royal Mafokeng is, if I was Ramaphosa, that must be the first Orania. That if you can approve Orania, where whites are still raising the Afrikaner flag, Royal Mafokeng right now, all those beautiful roads in Rustenburg, you see that crocodile? Those are their roads.
The Kwena people.
If right now, this is me talking, if I had power, I would take the budget that we have for that province, for Royal Mafokeng area, and I will extract that whole budget and put it on the 48 billion that Royal Mafokeng has already, and allow that kind of an in space to say, can you do your school? Can you do your hospitals? Can you do what? And ANC needs to answer to itself one day for destroying the legacy of Mangope. and what he had done in the Rustenburg area.
Boputsatswana.
The amount of infrastructure. I went to Ulihurutse the other day. A friend of mine lost a mother. We went there. I'm not lying to you. I must take you there one day. We sat in a theater, which has a basement where the band sits, auditorium, the acoustics in that place, madness. And to gather that this was done in the 80s and 90s by Mankope.
In a Bantustan.
In the midst of nowhere. Now, the industries that were in Hammanskraal, Lefika, all those industries right now, they are beds and goats. And ANC deliberately made sure that those industries don't see the light of day because we cannot be seen to be holding the legacy of Mangope. The stadium. Unfortunately, you're talking to someone who travels, and I'm informed about South Africa quite extensively. The Rhino studios that are in Mahikeng, they were the best studios in Africa. Any musician would know that. With a full lodge and hotels for artists and stuff like that. Here's a man who had a vision. I flew from Rustenburg and into those bushes as early as 1992, 93. And you look at how that legacy has gone to the bush. Simply because ANC feels it does not have a legacy to protect about a Bantustan.